On March 14, 2019, a quiet spring afternoon in Maple Falls, Ohio, 17-year-old Emily Carter walks out of her high school parking lot at exactly 3:47 p.m. She waves goodbye to her best friend, unlocks her car, and vanishes without a trace. No phone calls, no social media activity, no goodbye. Just gone. At first, everyone thought she ran away. But by nightfall, when her mother reported her missing, something felt wrong. Emily was responsible, focused, and close to home. Running away didn't make sense. Detectives began piecing together her final moments. Security footage from the school showed her walking toward her car, backpack slung over one shoulder. Then, a dark sedan pulled up beside her. The footage glitched for 7 seconds. When it resumed, both the car and Emily were gone. That single glitch would haunt investigators for months. The following morning, police reviewed attendance records. Every teacher and student had checked out, except one. Well-liked. David Harlow, 38 years old, married, English teacher, calm, known for mentoring students who needed guidance, including Emily. For months, she had spent time in his classroom after hours, often working on essays or seeking help with college recommendations. But recently, she'd seemed distant. Friends recalled her saying, "Mr. Harlow isn't who you think he is." When police questioned him, he said he'd left early for a dentist appointment. The office confirmed he never showed up. His car was in the driveway, spotless. Too spotless. Recently washed, according to neighbors. Harlow remained polite but distant. "Emily probably just ran off," he said. "You know how teenagers are." But detectives weren't convinced. A search of the school grounds led to a shocking find. Emily's backpack dumped behind a dumpster near the gym. Inside was her phone, factory reset. The last text she received was from Harlow. It read, "We need to talk before practice. Alone." Within hours, investigators obtained a search warrant. Harlow's phone records showed his GPS had been turned off at 3:30 p.m., minutes before Emily disappeared. A neighbor's doorbell camera later captured a dark sedan, matching his vehicle, driving toward Lake Wren Road, a wooded area on the outskirts of town. When police searched that area, they found tire tracks, a single earring, and traces of blood on gravel. The earring matched one Emily was wearing the day she vanished. Still, without a body, prosecutors couldn't press murder charges. Days later, a former colleague came forward with new information. She said Harlow had been quietly dismissed from his last teaching job after an inappropriate relationship with a student. The school never reported it. It was covered up to avoid scandal. When detectives confronted him, Harlow stayed calm. "People love to destroy good men over lies," he said. "I've done nothing wrong." But behind his calm face, investigators sensed something colder, something rehearsed. Then came the discovery that changed everything. While cleaning Harlow's classroom, a janitor found a loose drawer panel in his desk. Behind it was a small flash drive. On it were saved drafts of letters written by Emily, but never sent. Each file opened like a window into her fear. She wrote about feeling trapped, about a teacher who had crossed lines, about wanting to tell someone but being terrified she'd ruin his life and her own. The final letter stopped mid-sentence. The last words read, "If anyone finds this, please tell my mom I didn't want to go with him. I just wanted it to stop." Within hours, police surrounded Harlow's home with a warrant in hand. But when they arrived, the house was silent. His car was gone. His phone left behind on the counter, battery removed. His wife told police he'd walked out just after sunset saying he needed time to think. He never came back. For the next 2 days, the entire county went on high alert. Volunteers searched the woods near Lake Wren Road. Helicopters scanned the area. Bloodhounds picked up a trail leading deep into the forest. There they found a campsite. A small fire pit, ashes still warm, and beside it, a burned notebook page. The handwriting was faint but legible. It read, "He said no one would believe me." The paper was confirmed to be from Emily's missing journal. At that point, the FBI stepped in, classifying the case as abduction by a known suspect. Agents learned that Harlow had used his school access to disable cameras before leaving campus. The 7-second glitch in the footage? It wasn't an accident. It was a deliberate cut created using an admin password, one only a few staff members had. Harlow was one of them. 3 days later, his car was discovered abandoned near an old hunting trail just 5 miles from the lake. The trunk was empty, but the passenger seat had long blonde hair embedded in the fabric, later confirmed to be Emily's. No sign of Harlow. No sign of Emily. Detectives searched every cabin, every rest stop, and every possible hiding place within a 50-mile radius. Nothing. It was as if the two had vanished into thin air. Then, a break came from an unexpected source. A local gas station clerk remembered a man matching Harlow's description buying supplies 2 nights after Emily disappeared. The clerk said he was wearing a hoodie, sunglasses, and gloves. But what stood out was his car's back seat. It looked like someone was lying down, covered with a blanket. Security footage confirmed it. The timestamp? 2:11 a.m., Sunday. 2 full days after Emily went missing. At that point, police believed Emily was still alive. The search expanded across state lines. Roadblocks were set up. Amber alerts flooded social media. And then, just as suddenly as it started, the trail went cold. The following week, an unmarked envelope arrived at the Maple Falls Police Department. No return address. Inside was a single photograph, grainy, printed from a home printer. It showed a woman's hand wearing a friendship bracelet identical to Emily's, resting against what looked like a wooden wall. Written in pen at the bottom of the photo were 3 chilling words: "She's still learning." No fingerprints, no DNA, no traceable ink. Investigators believe the photo was sent by Harlow himself. It's now been over 4 years since Emily Carter vanished. Her body has never been found. Her case remains open under active investigation. But authorities believe one thing: David Harlow is alive, and he's still running. This case left Maple Falls forever changed. It's a reminder that sometimes the people who seem safest, the ones who smile the most, carry the darkest secrets. And somewhere in Ohio tonight, someone knows what really happened to Emily Carter. On April 3rd, 2019, 3 weeks after Emily Carter vanished, Maple Falls High tried to return to normal. But nothing felt normal anymore. Students whispered in hallways. Teachers double-checked locked doors. Every sound, every shadow, every unfamiliar car set off panic. The ghost of Emily lingered everywhere. Detectives continued their search for David Harlow, but he was always one step ahead. His phone, credit cards, and digital trail had gone dead. He'd become a ghost, too. But one thing he couldn't erase was his past. While combing through Harlow's classroom belongings, investigators found a half-empty locker in the back storage room. It was dusty, padlocked, and labeled with a number that didn't appear on the school's records. When they forced it open, inside they found a shoebox, a manila folder, and something that immediately sent chills through the room: a stack of handwritten letters bound together with red string. Each letter was addressed to Harlow, each signed by different girls. The first one dated back to 2014. The handwriting shaky, scared. "You said no one would believe me. You were right." The letters painted a horrifying pattern. Stories of students who'd trusted him, then vanished from his class records or transferred schools mid-semester. When detectives cross-checked the names, two of the girls had indeed moved out of state, but both families refused to speak. The manila folder held copies of disciplinary notes, but none bore the school's official letterhead. It looked like Harlow had made his own records, documenting details about his students, favorite books, family problems, emotional triggers. Notes written in the margins read things like lonely, easily convinced, and will trust authority. It wasn't mentoring. It was profiling. That discovery shifted the case from missing person to predatory abduction pattern. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit joined the investigation, describing Harlow as a calculated manipulator driven by psychological dominance rather than impulse. Then, the shoebox. Inside were small trinkets, a silver pendant, a track medal, a school ID card from another district. And at the very bottom, something that froze everyone in the room: Emily's missing phone. The same phone that had supposedly been found wiped clean near the dumpster, but this one wasn't wiped. Forensic techs powered it on. It immediately displayed a passcode screen. 5 attempts later, they were locked out. But with digital forensics, they cracked it within hours. Inside were hidden voice memos. The first recording was dated March 13th, one day before Emily disappeared.
"If something happens to me," she whispered, "check his computer. He's not who you think he is."
The next recording was even more chilling. You could hear a male voice in the background. Calm, cold, familiar. "You said you wanted to understand the real me," the man said. "Now you do." Experts enhanced the audio. The voice was confirmed to belong to David Harlow. At that point, the FBI knew they were dealing with more than one victim, but they needed to know, where was Emily now? Meanwhile, locals reported strange sightings near Lake Wren Road. A lone cabin light flickering at night. A car engine revving deep in the woods. Each time officers arrived, they found nothing. Then, a fisherman discovered something partially submerged near the lake's northern bank, a sealed mason jar. Inside it, a folded piece of paper. Water damaged, but legible. It read, "He's keeping her where the light dies." No signature, no fingerprints. Just that one cryptic message. The wording matched a phrase found in one of Emily's essays from English class, describing the woods at sunset. It was her writing style, her voice. Search teams swept the area again, this time focusing on the direction of the setting sun, west of Lake Wren. That's where they found it. A cabin nearly hidden by trees. Rusted roof. Windows covered in newspaper. Inside, the smell of rot and mold. But what they discovered inside made seasoned officers step back. Every wall was lined with newspaper clippings, articles about missing girls from various Ohio counties, some going back over 10 years. And in the center of the room, pinned above a desk, was Emily's yearbook photo, pinned right through her eyes. The desk was covered with open journals. Page after page filled with Harlow's handwriting, rambling thoughts about purity, redemption, and starting over. It was the diary of a man losing his mind. Then, at the very end of one notebook, they found a line written in bold marker. "I can't let her go. Not until she understands why." But still, no Emily. No sign of where he'd taken her next. Investigators discovered tire tracks near the cabin leading north. Based on soil analysis, they estimated he'd left within the last week. He was still moving. Then came another breakthrough. At 2:37 a.m., a 911 call came from a gas station 50 miles away in Youngstown, Ohio. The clerk reported a disoriented girl staggering inside, barefoot, with blood on her shirt. She collapsed before saying a word. When paramedics arrived, they found no ID, no phone, just a single silver bracelet engraved with one word, Emily. The town of Maple Falls exploded with hope. Reporters swarmed the hospital. But when police tried to question her, she barely spoke. She kept repeating one phrase, "He's not done." Doctors confirmed she'd suffered mild hypothermia, exhaustion, and psychological trauma. They sedated her for recovery. Hours later, when detectives returned to take her statement, her bed was empty, the window wide open. Security footage showed the silhouette of a man in a hooded sweatshirt leading her down the hospital corridor and out the side exit. The timestamp read 4:16 a.m. The car he drove away in? A dark sedan. The same model that pulled up beside Emily the day she vanished. Police issued an immediate BOLO alert. Highways locked down. But the car vanished before sunrise. 2 days later, another envelope arrived at the local police department. No address. Inside, another photograph. This time it showed a different girl. Younger, smiling. Sitting in what looked like a classroom. Written underneath in the same handwriting as before, "Round 2 begins." Investigators now believe Harlow may be hunting again. The FBI has expanded the manhunt across 3 states. Agents are re-examining unsolved disappearances linked to his previous schools. But one thing is clear: David Harlow isn't running from justice anymore. He's playing a game, and the next move is his. This is Crime Shadows, where darkness hides in plain sight, and the story isn't over yet. Like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss a story.